This video is sponsored by skinsmarket.com, a marketplace where you can sell your skins instantly for real money. Very good prices, very fast payment, many payment methods, and a trusty market. Check skinsmarket.com, link in the description. Just select your items, click on this button, accept your trade, and you instantly get your money. Check out the link in the description.
Big versus Complexity, map 1 here at the E-League Invitational, and we're kicking things off here on Overpass with Big on that T side, and Complexity is going to be Ricky, who's got himself a kit and 2 flashbangs, and this setup is looking to deal with a quick B rush, should that be the play, and it looks like it will be.
4 players focusing on B. Smear to cast the rotation in connector. We've got players in the CT water. Ricky will get the first kill. Taking out Stanislaw soon to go as well. More flashbangs being delivered late and more flashbangs. And the kills are raining in for Big, leaving Def and Shazam. And there's still more flashbangs. All the flashbangs in the world. 4 versus 2. Strong position for Big, and it gets stronger with Def now as the last man standing. And this is going to be a very rough position for him. Taking one in the face, taking another one. And there's some big shouts on the Big side for a big pistol round from Big.
Yeah, great start from them. You know, Complexity had a setup that was designed to deal with the fast B play, and they couldn't hit those initial shots. And it does get very difficult on the CT side as the Ts are rushing in at distance and closing that distance. If you don't actually manage to get that quick 1 or 2 shots off to take take a couple players down and at least make it a bit more difficult for those Ts to close the distance even further after they get the plant. So we'll see now whether or not the Complexity on that 3rd round can get things going for themselves. But this is where Big really shine. When they win that pistol and they can dictate the pace heavily, that's something of a specialty of theirs.
Some error with the flashbang there. Just watching on the map, Big moving into the B-bomb site and Xantares entry. Nobody's there, but he gets team flash, though. As you can see, maybe a communication issue or something. Again, going back to the Cloud9 execute that we saw earlier on. Great timing from the flashbangs. So as a comparison, this is a good round to have a mistake like that. You don't want to have that happen when it's buy versus buy. Something to look out for as these rounds continue. He's playing for exits now while Complexity ringing the bell of Xantares, but they may not steal a weapon away from this round.
Yeah, Smear looking to get some cash with that Mac 10. Of course, you get extra money from some of the SMGs. Oh, Shazam will take him out, though. Shazam, a player that I know Sean always talks about how good his pistols are. So it's always something I look out for whenever I see Shazam. But it's not going to do too much. He won't be able to match. It's going to be very telling.
Again, we have Shazam naked with the AWP in the first buy round for Complexity on the counter-terrorist side. 2 orgs. We saw, I think, 1 at most in the previous match at any one time, and now we see 2. They've doubled up, Def and Ricky. Going for a boost, a massive humanity looking towards the short B position, but nothing doing just yet. Tabson is very passive towards B as Big creep through the connector position with 2 players in tow. Smuya peeking. I think Shazam may have seen the bomb towards A, and now they start to burst out of the connector position, and suddenly there are 4 players focusing on the A area for the T side. Shazam have a very common position which allows you to catch people outside the connector and the divider, but these flashes just force him all the way back.
Yeah, it's be very troublesome here to hold, should they go for the full execution, but it does look like Complexity do have the body starting to be in a good spots to hold this. It's going to be quite interesting to see whether or not Big will commit. They got so much time. You can see that how reactive Complexity are being. Complexity going to be in a spot soon where they might need to make an information play if Big just sit on where they are right now. That would actually, I think that would be the master stroke. Just play very passive from this position forwards. See if Complexity go for an info play. Get a catch on the kill. Here's the information play coming in from Def as he moves forwards. A flash can be thrown for him to peek with potentially, or he can just hold that off angle. He does have Shazam holding his right as well. So this is going to be very, very close. Def keeps pushing forwards. Is he getting a timing? Oh no! Def gets 2. They had grenades in their hands. They were supposed to be holding him, but they are unsuccessful.
And just like that, it's a 4 versus 2. Godby around the smoke in a long position. Smear moving up on his own with the bomb. He's got a planted for connector. Godby trying to clear the site though. 12 seconds, the bomb's got to go down. Beep, beep, it begins. And he's trying to come back. He comes off the bomb attempts Smear, and nothing takes him out. No bomb plant for Big in that round. I thought Def might have dropped a smoke grenade outside divider when he saw that nobody was there, but I guess he was going for potential flank or whatever, but he killed 2 people and broke Big's push, snapped it, took it to pieces, and now Shazam can buy Kevlar with his AWP.
That's so awesome to see, just because, you know, it's you can't just sit there and be reactive, and obviously Complexity made the right moves and then eventually realized that they had to go for that info play. I think Big should be able to hold that though and expect it, and the fact that they didn't cost them heavily, and the 2 AKs here with the pistols and only 3 grenades. 3! A smoke and 2 flashbangs. That is not a lot to work with. We'll have to see if they can somehow get something out of this, but right now Complexity are looking really strong, and that's a timely smoke to deny any pick there from Xantares. And Big will creep towards bathrooms. Hello, Shazam is going to get out of dodge, but he won't. Shot in the side of the face, and he will go down.
That's a big pickup for Big, no pun intended, because obviously they have shortcomings in their buy. 4-on-4, and they've got a nice upgrade for Tabson. That's got to be, once again, is at the front of the site. Hey, Judo takes half of him away, and Molotov will force him from his position yet more. He has no idea where the cover is. He's losing almost all his life. Jump peeking down long. I don't know if he saw that player. So there is an angle to be had for Def, and as the bomb hasn't been planted just yet, this is very difficult for Godby. His team are pretty spread out now. Tabson's making his way towards the site, but Xantares is still in connector, and Tizian's going towards B to find out what's going on, but there's a long time to stand in these positions and do this. However, Godby continues to deliver. An in-game leader who frags. A rare find, but he's a diamond in the rough.
Bomb does go down, nothing will spring up the stairs. This is going to be quite difficult. Oh, Xantares with 2 quick headshots, denying the retake with ease. I thought there was a very strong chance with that forward position from nothing, but no. And now Stanislaw just has to hold on to his gun. That's the best he can really do and hope for. So really well played by Big in this round. By Godby in particular, as you said, James. Just the fact that he was able to deal with such an awkward situation with such low HP was pretty impressive.
Xantares is, well, looking dangerous already. You heard the warning from Sean. Xantares and Tabson will survive, it seems. So after a technical pause, it's an explosive start to Overpass, and I think this will be very interesting, and we haven't even got to cash yet. 3-1 now. And Complexity will force buy after being reset in the first round that they've won so far. Shazam down to the scout. You can see a look of focus from nothing. He's missed his competition. But he's only got a P250 for this round.
P250 and a very well-groomed beard. Well-bearded groom, I was about to say. But here we go. Xantares looking to get the open up if anyone was to peek. There's a smoke just pushed in front of it. And somehow nothing is alive. I don't know quite how, but he is. With that P250, and he might just get a kill. Oh, and he does the headshot there on Tabson as he's running around blind here. And looks like Big will try to open up the bomb site with Godby and Xantares as the tools in which to do so. But it is a struggle amongst all of these smokes to do so.
Xantares 7-4-1 at the moment, but Shazam will make a 7-for-2 with the scout. Big headshot from him, and there's a man advantage, but Complexity have so many players who are made. They could fall very quickly indeed. Stanislaw sent off of the bomb site. Dev still around the back. Big have the time to try and thin these numbers out. They don't have bomb plant pressure, which would be risky in this situation. There goes nothing. That leaves 2 players, a FAMAS and a CZ. This CZ could be very dangerous if Dev can find an opportunity. He can move up the slope where you would often find Zipex. Actually, Ricke's in that very position. Even if he goes down, they may not look for Def there. There's a chance he does, but he won't get anything out of it. Godby will eliminate him, and it's 4-1 to Big.
Really nice stuff from them. It did look kind of scary with those smokes down at one point when everything sort of slowed down, and there was all the time in the world for the rotation, but they managed it well. And now that's going to be so painful. Complexity with no money to really work with. Always a sad story on a map like Overpass. And it's going to be kind of difficult to find a way to get value out of this. 3 USPs and a couple P2000s. Perhaps they can find a way to steal a gun from a setup. We shall see. Big, one of the teams that do have pretty strong anti-ecos and drills for those. There's a lot of great options on this map for such a round. And looks like they may go with it. Typically, you'd like to just play most players up long. It's very easy to move as a unit there. And pistols can't really do much against that.
Ooh.
Wow.
Well, if it's going to happen, it's better it happens now, better it happens early. I'm sure that things will get better for tabseN as he continues to warm up into this match. No harm done. He'll continue to lurk outside the B bomb site while Complexity focus on A. We've got some close quarters players towards the right-hand side. Xantares, he moves too close. Okay, we've got a pop there, but doesn't quite reach the mark for these players, and they will get the superior trade there. Bombs on the floor, but Tizian will clean up the rest. He'll sweep Complexity into the gutter as we move into round number 7.
Into the gutter. Yes, looking like a really good start, but finally we can have a very, very solid buy coming out with Complexity. They have the AWP, they have the grenades. Actually, they don't have too many grenades on Shazam. It's actually not a full amount of utility, so maybe not as good as I thought. And Rikke doesn't have any Kevlar, and there's only one kit. Actually, it's not.
That's got to be a mistake.
It's not quite. I mean, he dropped. Did he drop the AWP or something? I'm not sure.
I do wonder because if he didn't, I wonder if he's even aware that he doesn't have Kevlar. Because otherwise, I mean, he should be AWPing if they know. They're both snipers, right? It doesn't make sense that Rikke rifles with no Kevlar and Shazam AWPs with no... Okay, whatever. Shazam gets the first frag and falls back. And that will slow down any approach towards A, but no one else is really in position. The bomb towards B with tabseN, Tizian and Connector. And it does look likely that it will be an attempted split of the B bomb site. But... there is a heightened focus now towards B for Complexity. 3 players in as BIG starts to stream in through Monster.
Yep, tabseN opening things up here. The first man in. Nothing to really worry about. The players are lurking in the water, and that's typically the position you want to hold on to as the CTs, as it allows you to have a base of operations to get your teammates in on the rotation. If the Ts can take this position, it can often be too difficult to get back in. And we'll see the legs spotted out from Stan, but he can't quite get the frag. Shaz with that boost, also unable to find the frag, and with those opportunities gone, there may not be too much left to do, but they'll still make it happen here with the 1 versus 2 from Shazam. But Smooya's looking, and he's going to find 6-1, and you can hear the nice boys in the background as BIG are very hype.
I've played on the overpass with Smooya before, and it's just fun. Obviously, it's not a professional match, but it's still fun to watch a player play live with him and see his decision making. He's very comfortable around the pillar with an AWP on either side, so that might be something to look out for as this proceeds. Some frags from him there, and 6-1. It's a monstrous start from BIG, and this can't be fun for Complexity just yet. Back on the pistols once again. Limited, very limited success. Instant reset with the 1 round they won, and that was quite early on as well, so can't read too much into the success in that particular round. 4 AKs and an AWP. Anti-eco territory for BIG, and it starts well with Stanislaw getting picked off.
Yeah, that's really encouraging when you're against the pistols. And okay, everyone's dead. Shazam with that pistol in hand gets another dink, but that's him gone. 7-1, a very fast 7-1, I must say. These like some teams, sometimes you find it where you have 2 teams that will play fairly slow, and then you'll have really, really drawn out rounds on overpass. But these have been very, very quick. Double up comes in now. Shazam and Rikke, a much better buy here for Complexity. The best looking buy that they've had, and we're into the 9th round now, so they better make this work.
Shazam and Rikke with the AWPs this time. Shazam going through the toilets, Rikke going towards the B bomb site. 3 starting on B. BIG don't look to be overcommitting to anything just yet. 2 plays, 2 connected though, so they'll quickly have the short B position with the smoke down, so maybe they will commit to B faster than expected. There's a smoke down on Monster, Gobby's lurking with the bomb, but only Smooya is headed towards A at the moment. Battle sniper Smooya doesn't see anything, and he will go and join his teammates towards B. So we're looking at a 3 versus 5 situation as Complexity starts to creep in that short B position. Easy frag for Tizian. He's ready, trying to force these players back, and now here comes the charge. Xantares and got B through Monster.
Yeah, this is not looking good here for Complexity. Rikke falls back. Stan holds close by the pillar. Tries to get into the water, but he can't quite escape. No headshots coming in from Rikke. Xantares too strong with the headshots himself. And now they'll hold on to a 4 versus 2 advantage with the post plant. And there's not really a world in which Complexity can reliably retake this bomb site, so they will just have to hold on to their guns. And they've not really had many rounds, James, where they've had a good buy. So they need these guns.
Yeah, it's been few and far between, and I agree with your sentiment as to the pacing of this overpass. This is one of the faster ones that I've seen in the last year or 2. Very, very fast pace. I don't think we've had a tactical timeout just yet. And I mean, this deficit has grown so quickly that maybe one is in order for the complexity side. What is going on? How can we change things? What are we expecting? So on and so forth. Def and Shazam will survive. About 3,500 average across the team, so I don't think they'll buy too much around these weapons. More important to keep the money together, but I'm sure they'll try to get Shazam in battle sniper mode. He doesn't have a great spawn to go for a peek towards bench, and indeed it is a tactical timeout that has been called.
That second kill from Xantares was nice. That's just crosshair placement as well. It's like nothing fancy. And that's what I like seeing sometimes from players that are like from a raw skill angle as good as Xantares, to just see that, yeah, their mechanics are on point as well. So they kind of cover all the bases. And indeed, 8-1. It's, as you say, you just mentioned it. I don't think we've seen the tactical yet, and boom, there it is. And complexity have a lot to mull over, and it's honestly the style of play Big are throwing at complexity, so they're bullying them really hard at the moment, and it's sometimes it's hard to get a grip on, if you're on the side of the victim, it's hard to get a grip on the situation.
Well, we see an AUG has been, oh no, the AUG was there already. It's the UMP, which has been bought by nothing. Again, it's maximum loss bonus, so they can afford to spend a little more complexity. And Shazam has indeed, of course, gone into a very aggressive angle towards the A bomb site. But again, it's basically 5 people heading towards B, this time against 2 players. And that's nothing taken out immediately. That was the better weapon, Stanislaw, with a CZ behind a smoke. But Big won't overcommit. They do not know what lies behind them. Could be wondering that exact question, literally covering the 6.
Yeah. Nothing's peak was really good. If you ever go back and watch this demo, watch the spacing he uses, because he actually he saw his opponent first, and that's how his peak was designed. If he had a rifle, nothing would have got that kill, for sure. But the UMP has a very slow rate of fire, and the Dink doesn't do quite as much damage as some guns. There's a good attempt from nothing. Ooh.
I wonder, was he looking at the radar, or maybe he just lost the duel, but that's not expected. Now we have a second player in the B bomb site, and it is, of course, Shazam with the AWP. So suddenly things have got a lot more difficult for Big, and they're playing the clock, but it's their advantage they're losing, because if they have to make an error adjustment, then that may be costly for them. Stanislaw completely blind, and now Shazam really has some work to do.
Yeah, he somehow managed to fight. Smooya actually hit him down to 12 HP, so... Oh, the scope! Oh, it's very unfortunate timing, and that's the bomb site now there for Big. 2 versus 2, though. This is still doable. Rikke will upgrade to the AK-47, and Def is well and truly locked out and short, and that's quite difficult, but he can flash out for Rikke. He's setting it up as Rikke goes in for the play now. Can he make it good? Yes, that's very nice, that connection. Oh my goodness, he gets himself a follow-up as well. That's beautiful. You love to see it. Def sets him up, and he knocks it down.
Man like Rikke. And yeah, complexity. Get another round on the board, need to avoid the reset. And that's the power of Rikke as well. Very, you know, obviously by trade he is a sniper rifle player, but he is very, very good with the AKs, the M4s and the AUGs as well. So he's quite happy to be a secondary AWPer. And that's something that they don't need to depend on, because he is so good with those other options as well. So that's a strength of complexity, but now they need to win that consecutive round. 3 AUGs and the AWP. 4 scopes on the CT side. Will it be enough?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see the style that Big are playing, because they don't give you too much time to react, which is what I really find very cool. And they also give themselves the opportunity to slow things down very drastically and like really throw off the other team, who's then begun to adapt to their pacing. So Tizian now in towards the connector position, clearing that with the help of Smooya with the AWP. Can open the door for a quick peek towards the short positions. And this is, yeah, Rikke, he's gone for that big flying through monster. It's quite risky. I imagine nothing would have thrown a flashbang over.
Actually, nothing went with him, and it was thrown by Stanislaw. And they've left Rikke in position, and nothing has fallen back, since they don't really have info towards short B. So that's a lot of information. We've still got Def in a forward position around the toilets. As the smoke starts to dissipate, he will play rifle support for Shazam, moving deeper inside the toilets while Shazam focuses on the outside.
Rikke, how far does he go? Sometimes you have to trust your teammates and just hold. If Shazam gets a kill, they may very well go back towards B. He will whiff the shot, though, and smokes down. That is a smoke that popped at 49 seconds. That's not going to go away until about 32 seconds on the clock. So that is that's significant. That's a significant delay. Ooh, the push comes in from the back Ricky finds his timing, takes down 2. That is really bad now for Big because they have only 30 seconds to get to that bomb site and get the plant in.
Yeah, they are at the point of no return because the bomb is on long. No rotation towards B. And now it's Tabson, the last man to get punctured by Shazam. Shot in the chest. And there it is. That's what Complexity needed. That consecutive round. 4 players surviving. Great forward play from them. Perfect timing. Good decision-making by Stanislaw. And a nice setup. The pop flash through Monster. Nothing supporting Ricky, so the trade was there if necessary. Leaving Ricky in situ. And he has just a tower of matter to destroy. Send him into a black hole. Never to be seen again. Holograms.
Yeah, and the sheer amount of time he had to make those 2 kills happen as well just speaks to the strength of that flank timing. So, just a quick smoke over the bin as usual to just create the question for the T's. That behind that smoke you can push towards the party area. Obviously they haven't this round, but now we have to have more pop flashes, we have to have more time taken by the T's. And it gives you more space as the CTs to set up around the map. Suez will be taken by Big meanwhile. You see Tabson, he's actually looking for an entry onto the side. Looks like he's quite committed towards it as well. He really wants it. He's gonna, he spots the back of Ricky. He's gonna go for this, and Ricky turns around at the perfect moment. And that's he's gonna feel like that was a robbery, Tabson.
Yeah, he had maybe 3 opportunities to fire a bullet, but he wanted to make sure that he would be able to get the kill there. I think second opportunity, there was enough for a spray, but either way, opportunity lost. Complexity starting with 4 players in the B-bomb site. They are expectant. They are being very active on their CT side, which is great to see. They need to be, considering the current situation. There's Shazam in that same position, catching players coming out of connector in a risky situation where he doesn't have that rifle support. Common position for snipers. Again, you can flick somebody if they make it to divider. But anyway, 5 seconds, and Xantares is on long, gets double dinks by Stanislaw with the AUG. And now we've got more issues for Big. 2 versus 5. Molotovs, more grenades, just warding them off. Gobby taken out, and Smia will have to run away and try to hold on to this AWP.
Run, Forrest, run. Indeed, it's quite the commodity. And he's the guy actually that's the poorest on the team. Don't want to be throwing around $6,000. Throwing away, I should say. So Complexity look like they have really gotten back into this one now. And you wonder if Big will begin to mix things up. They've still got enough to buy, so you can keep himself alive. Looks like he will be able to do so. It'll be cool to see a change of approach now from Big. This is very unfortunate for Tabson.
Spot 1, spot 2, and not the third.
And that's the quite. He's going to feel like that was a robbery, Tabson.
That's good commentary from you, there, James.
What have they? Yeah, it sounded like that's like, wait, what's going on there? Put the cash in the suitcase and leave it outside the laundromat. 4-8, favored for Big in score. They still have money to buy, and soon they will. Freeze time has gone. Got some talking from Gobby. All right, he's barking specific orders at everybody. You go here, you go there. Mentions of A, mentions of underground. Smia continues with the AWP save. Tizian down to the Galil. But the unit is together, and that's the important thing. Molotov deterrent, but Ricky gets tagged. Smia says no.
Through the wall, no less. Oh dear. Yeah, it's just going to fall right back after that one. And set up towards long from the A site. And Big will have the bathrooms for free. The water closet. That's
the what? The water closet?
Yes, that's what WC means.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I had no idea what that.
You didn't know that?
No. Oh. I don't know what the accent was, though.
It's actually...
It wasn't American.
It was an American accent. It was really good.
1 minute on the clock. Complexity still with 3 players towards the B-bomb site. They often trust Shazam with A on his boat. So he's going towards B for now. We've got a boost for Stanislaw. He'll leave Xantares with 1 HP, a single digit of health. And with an AK, that can still be very dangerous indeed. Smia spots a player falling back from that long position. But what is the decision now for Big? With Xantares low, they'll put him on the AWP because he can't take a duel with 1 HP. But he can take 1 shot and blow somebody up. 35 seconds, and the bomb's in connector. Where is it going?
Yeah, time is of the essence. And we talked about them switching up the pacing after playing really fast rounds. And this is indeed the other extreme end of the spectrum. Very slow. The flick, it's good. Xantares will nail down Stanislaw. Now Big start to move towards B. 18 seconds left in the round, but they need to account for the time to plant the bomb as well. Deft with the transfer, not very good. Only one apiece. Smooya closelining the defense there as the bomb goes down in the nick of time. And Rikke will escape. And that switch for Xantares with the AWP, that was just fantastic.
How about that? Rikke now moving away. This time they've got 3 rounds in a row, and they've got the money to buy again. But everything you can save, always important on the CT side. More expensive to buy than it is for the Ts, traditionally. And here we go, big move to 9. They've got the potential for 11, so it's already a great half for Big. And it can get greater. Gobby still talking to the team what the situation is, setting the expectations for the rounds to come. Fantastic in-game leading from him, keeping everybody focused. And here is 1 HP Xantares with so fast. Lantares, as Sean says, ever dangerous even with 1 HP. Look at the transfer from Smooya, how about that? We spoke about Rikke with the rifles, but Smooya's doing the same. And here we go, both teams on the buy. Again, we've got triple AUG from Complexity. 5 AKs from Big.
Yeah, that change of pace was really cool. And now they have the opportunity to switch things up again. Complexity will be aggressive though towards Connector. All the boosts with that AUG. Spotting some legs. But here it is, Xantares wants to get this Connector control back under control of Big, and it will be a trade here, and this is very problematic because sure the smoke is up there, but Smooya can try to creep through that as they apply pressure from the back. Got to be really cautious to back out of that position. He's just going to go for the jump peak to get the info, and does spot the CTs falling back in position, and he knows he can just go forwards and try to catch them as they get onto the site. Almost got a kill out of it, and now the damage exchange doesn't look too uneven here between these two teams, and this is amazing for Big. They've got so much time.
1 minute on the clock, and Smooya is going to be the investigator towards A-Long. Looking for the information. He's got his notepad out and his pencil. Gobby and Tabson moving the bomb towards the toilets. Grenades being lined up. All 4 players are here. Meanwhile, Rikke's starting to ask questions towards short B. And why sees no one there? They can be expectant towards A, and that will confirm things more. Shazam getting the frag. Rikke starting to flank, but there are 3 CTs on the A site.
Yeah, that's a really critical frag there from Shazam. Stan finds one as well, does the bomb down at his feet. Tijian goes in, and there's nothing he can do. Taps in 1 HP. That's not a good look for him, and Complexity should be able to hold on to this one without too much of a problem. Although he is doing some extra damage before he goes down, it will be the round for Complexity. And it looks like they've really managed to come into their own here. That's 4 rounds of the last 5.
Pre-fire, the shadow, the positional advantages. The focused man is Stanislaw. Shazam, though, is the one leading the charge on the score. What I believe he is 14-8 at present. And in the last round, there is not a lot for Big to fight with, so the score can be kept reasonably close as far as Complexity are concerned. And looking at the start they had, I think they'll be happy with it at this point. So Shazam, 14-8. Can he get a few more in this last round? On the AWP once more. So see, Smooya is commonly jumping here. Something I mention a lot is when Overpass was newer, Edward would jump peek there almost all the time, but I never saw him get pre-fired by somebody. We'll see how much it's a habit for Smooya. Dev starting to move back. Smoke towards the Vida. Leaves a little gap, but not really anything with it. Avoids the flashbang easily. They've got more advancements, and there'll be no trades for these Ts unless they want to gamble. Gobby's in the red with his pistol. Not much more he can do at this point.
Yeah, it's looking pretty bad right now for Big. They're going to need some electrifying Deagle shots. Tabson, you know he's good for it. Only gets the 1, though. Rikke is just on the bomb site, full HP. Full blind as well, though, and that actually will result in a bomb plant. They can pick up some guns. They've actually just created a chance. Tizian has full HP, a Molotov. He just tossed that up high, I think. Oh, no, actually on the low ground. And he's got full HP. He's got full HP.
TikTok. Both these Complexity players have got kits. Both the teams are in the CT's water. The only one is still alive. The pre-fire from Tizian with low health, but he can't do it. A 3K for Stanislaw in that round, and it will be the 6th round on the board for Complexity, while Big lead with 9 at halftime.
Great comeback in this half from Complexity. You can see it there on your screens just briefly. Oh. Indeed. I think it's. I think the GIF that's perfect, isn't it? It's perfect.
I saw a lot of flashbangs in that half.
Good GIF work. Did you say GIF or GIF, James?
I say GIF because I'm not an idiot.
Oh.
I don't care what the creator says. He's wrong. It's a G. It's GIF.
Yeah. How do you say giraffe, James?
Giraffe. Waiting for the players to ready up. And we will soon be into this second half. It's all to play for now. Only 3 rounds. Obviously, the pistol is less impactful than it used to be. Got some hype coaches as well. And we are live. 15 seconds until their little legs start to run. Gobby will be a utility man on the CT side. Everybody else for Big with Kevlar. And it's all Kevlar for Complexity. So maybe it's a rush, maybe it's the first player swinging ride, the other player's a trade. We'll have to wait and see. Jules not favorable with Glocks, of course. USPs have much better range for the one-shots to the face. But Complexity have the swarm advantage. Play like the Zergs. Nothing good on his own. And that's an early advantage for Complexity.
Yeah, looking really nice. Got so much time to plan around this. Oh, Xantares, just this little snipe from him, and that'll even up the situation. So that advantage is gone. The bomb is on the ground, so someone does need to go back and grab that. It will be Ricky, it seems, who is closest, and Shazam is going to be trying to creep around the side of this smoke, perhaps, or just wait for it to dissipate, and see if he can get into that A side and see what he can find. Get that information. It's Xantares again.
Maybe he heard the flashbang coming through, avoided it, but you can't avoid Xantares. Not many people can say that they can. 3 Complexity players moving towards the bomb site. Gobby spotting from the top. I think he was saying that he was covering the short position. Very clear comms from Gobby. We can hear him from over here. Down to 1 HP now as Nothing and Ricky remain for Complexity. So many guns aimed at them. 30 seconds as they move towards the bomb site itself, but they need to find some frags. They will only be on the receiving end. 1 versus 4 now for Ricky. Can't quite find anything. 23 seconds. Doesn't want to lose by a timeout. He's got to force the issue at some point. Del continues to harass him. The knife was on the way from Tabson, but it will be the bullet of Tizian to take the pistol for Big. Double figures for them.
Oh, this is lovely. Bop. So cheeky. I gotta say, I can't really do the PT-1000s. I tried. It's not for me. But for Xantares, just put anything in his hands, and it will have lethal potential, and he will be upgrading to the M4A4 in this round. This is a good start for Big. 10-6, up against a full save, only 1 flashbang on Nothing. Where's it gonna go?
Bottle smoke outside Monster. It's better to have the smoke on that side. If it's on the other side, then the teeth can burst through with a pop flash. They'll find through anyway, but they will get put into a toaster if you made Pop-Tarts of. And now only Nothing remains. No flashbang dance for him this round. Fire on. Doesn't connect enough bullets, however, for the kill. 11-6 for Big.
Ooh, almost all 4. So close. But yeah, so far.
Thank you, Dan.
Oh, look, it's us.
Well, it's me. You're too dark. Ironically.
What do you mean?
11-6, and we've got a bye for both teams now. We see the Krieg coming out for Stanislaw. This is the first Krieg of the tournament, I do believe. Let's see what they can do with it. With it, rather.
Yes, the Krieg. Becoming a favourite. I've been using the Krieg for a long time. For nostalgia purposes, nothing else. And Nothing will smoke off that Molotov. But when you see a Molotov like that, the suspicion is high that the CTs are doing exactly what they're doing here, which is taking the Stewards' control. And how does he do that? That should not be possible. That should be a very bad play, James. He's walking through the smoke. There's 2 CTs on the other end of it, and somehow he gets the kill for free. That's great work from nothing, and Complexity will lose one player back against the boost on Xantares, but a 4v4 is still favorable for the T side with this much time on the clock.
1 minute mark. tabseN and Xantares look to continue their journey in that short B position as Monster gets smoked off. Nothing will lurk in that position. They will see that nobody is here. Nothing having a look. Did he get a sound cue? tabseN is so close to the corner that he will be at a disadvantage. That's a compounded issue now. And now they know where one of the 3 players is. They can play the numbers game towards A should they choose to. There's a maximum of 2 people there. Nothing, so 1 in the water. So he's 1 facing Monster. He's got a lot of information for Complexity to collapse on A.
Yeah, Nothing's done a great job there. He goes down, falls on his sword, but look at this rotation. So out of position indeed. And high flash for Smear. He's going to go up with it. Needs to be fast, and he is. Great flick, but does it allow enough space for his teammates to get into position? Looks like they're still stuck at the choke points. They'll go for a 2v1. Where's the trade at? Def is close. The 1v1 here as he goes for it. Down to 12. Xantares gets the quad kill to secure the round.
That was quite the round. Unbelievable, considering how much information Nothing got towards the B bomb site. Getting that first frag for BIG to come out on top is crazy. Very back and forth. Moving out here. Xantares once again trading the truck position to win the round.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. If Def just knows to peek a little bit sooner, then they probably lose that round. They're lined up next to him.
And that was absolutely wild. There is a smoke towards Monster once again. Both teams on a full buy. Very interesting second half so far. Some flashes towards the party area. Thanasaur will try to force them back. There's always a question mark when you're going around that smoke. Short B has been taken by the CT, so important. But look at the lineup outside Monster. Whilst Thanasaur's been taken down, we've got 3 players. I think Tizian just spotted some, but can he adjust in time? Molotov's trying to stop the push, but he's got some information. Can he get the frags? He can. He's got a teammate for support as well, so they've got a good trade frag situation. They've got a line. They've cut a line across the site. Do not pass this area. The flashbangs are up. The trades are up as well. And BIG will come out on top. 2 players surviving. A wild round once again.
That Molotov, even though it was improvised by Tizian, actually did so much because none of the teammates or nothing could really push to trade him because they were stuck by that Molotov, even though there was a small gap. And that allowed the reinforcements to come in. And even though this isn't a team kill, at that point it's just too much to handle as far as Complexity are concerned when trying to break that bomb site goes. And now it's a 13-6 scoreline. That's very difficult to overcome when your money is down the drain as it is for Complexity. Well, it's not. It could be a lot worse. They just need 1 save. They're going for this half buy here, and BIG just look very overwhelming here. Individually, they've been playing great.
Calls of wreck them in this round. Very jovial BIG near the commentary booth. Xantares, 24-10. Can't be happier if you're God B right now. Very solid stuff.
The
Tense is going well so far.
Yeah. Anti-rush smoke. Ooh. There it is. There's the heady. We got ourselves 2. And there's a 4v3 suddenly for Complexity to play with. They can actually just chill now and just reassess their options. I think they wanted to rush into B, but would perhaps be smarter not to at this point.
They were lining up the double HEs for the sandbag position, but nobody was there for BIG, so that was the beginning of the plays from Complexity. Fairly common double HE these days, but you don't often see them hitting the target. 7-round lead for BIG, as they have a man disadvantage, but nothing's been picked up by Complexity. Ironically, saying nothing's being picked up by Complexity is both true and false, depending on your timeline. tabseN and Smooya towards the A site while Tizian plays retake on B.
Smooya looking for that info with the jump peek. Nothing to find just yet. And Tabson going for that information. There they are, very close. Looking for the trade. He baits it out. That's actually a genius play from Tabson. Picks up the kill. 2 HP. Gets the info. His teammates can rally around him. This is not a bad look for now for Big.
Smooth's been taken out, however, and there goes Tabson as well. He had next to no HP, so this is a very unlikely round for Complexity. And they've got Kevlar on 2 of these 3 players, so they can withstand the odd bullet or 2 as Tizian moves in to try and do what he can. He doesn't have a kit. There's probably one on the floor somewhere, though. Gets his first 1v1, but it leaves him with 7 HP. And now what do they do? Shazam's 1 dig will be enough. And there's the round for Complexity. Not out of this just yet.
Definitely wasn't expecting that considering how nice that play was, but that deagle shot, that's what really did it. And that left, of course, Tabson in an awful spot. Just 2 bullets, 2 kills. Very impactful stuff there from Shazam. And now, you know, there's a real chance if for Complexity. They've really caused some money problems here for Big. It's completely gone there, their economy. They have to win this round if they want to save themselves from a Complexity getting to probably 9 or 10 rounds without much of an answer. We got those scopes out on Complexity, Org and a Krieg.
All the scopes. Krieg, I believe, is one of the most, if not the most accurate gun in the game.
Oh, there's boost. Boost on the slides. Do not play on the slides.
Okay, can he see the entrance to toilets though? He literally slid down the slide. Trivia, you can shoot the swing all the way around, but you won't have time to do that during the game. This is a warm-up trick. Not easy to do. Nothing lurking towards B. Tizian, well, 3 players away actually. Is there a boost on short? Indeed there is. That is a funky one.
That's awesome.
Have a look at that. Marvelous stuff.
Wow. Just leave it to Big to find stuff like that. I've not seen that before. That's amazing.
You're welcome, observers.
Xantares he's got a deagle, James, in this position. You could definitely expect to get 2! Almost, but it's a 4v3 still for Big. They're in advantage, and they spotted the 2-player push. That gives them enough information. And now with this kill from Smooth, he's got the bomb. This is just a catastrophe.
He doesn't know Stan's on long, though. But Stan's just deployed a grenade, and now Smooth knows that he is on long, and he's reset his position. But he's going to get meat shot straight in the jaw. Now we've got a 2 versus 3. Big have to move towards the A side. Tizian still looking towards B. Not quite sure what's going on. There's the first frag attempt from Stan, not working out. A trade from Stanislaw. He's got 12 seconds to find this player. While the rotation comes in, Tabson needs to hide. A double peek, almost going for the transfer, but it will be another round for Big. 14-7, double the score of their opponents.
What a round from Big. That was really, really cool to see. That boost, firstly, was really cool because this is the lurker, and after they get that kill on nothing, they perhaps begin to realize that. Obviously get a rotation towards A in time. Xantares had enough info, gets an easy, well, almost 2k with the deagle. Just beautiful stuff there from Big, and now they're set up so well to take this one over the line. That said, Shazam's on an AWP, so anything can happen still. Oh, what is going on here?
This looks over towards the balcony. I think we've seen this in FPL, but they asked someone, and no one faced it. They said, like, go here. And they went there and got a shot, which was kind of amusing, but very quick attempts. I guess they didn't want to set it up once again because it does cost you your map control. And there is Shazam with the AWP. Godby going very deep, and it cost him.
There's a lot of pressure on Xantares now with that Org, because he will be the next first point. He's the only guy out there for his team. And that's a beautiful pop flash. He's completely blind.
He was so blind, he looks like he lagged out. 5 versus 3 now for Complexity.
Xantares was their only information, James. Look at where everyone else is for Big. They are so far back. They don't know, like, they have no idea what's going on the map now.
I wonder if this is one of those situations where you consider stacking people on one site. But with 5 players alive, wouldn't be surprised if Complexity sent a scout in to find out what's going on in their site of choice. The bomb's surrounded by 3 Complexity players, Stanislaw by Monster, and Death moving up the long position. So Complexity got everything on point at the moment. Just the 1 kill there for Tabson. They're not expecting Smooya though in the red. Very awkward stuff for the T's, but Death has position, and that makes life a lot easier now. Tabson rotating from the B bomb site, spotted immediately. 1 versus 4, 20 seconds. He can't stop the bomb from going down. and it seems he may try to hold on to his org. However, the hunt has already begun.
Oh dear. It's actually quite funny because Smia would probably have killed him much earlier, but there's a team flash that came in and actually kind of screwed him over. That's pretty funny. And also forced Tizian back. It's poor Smia. Oh well, it's all good. It's all good in the hoods. Looks like Complexity still in this one. Obviously, they have only the pistols really to worry about at this point. And so they should be able to get to 9 rounds at least. But, I mean, you never know. Between Xantares and Smuya. I mean, Tizian's shown us some pretty disgusting stuff as well with pistols on this map. Do you remember, James? Around the barrels with that USP looking at the floor?
Yes,
90-degree flick. Yes, good times.
How can one forget that? One of the most absurd. It is essentially a flick, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a flick, yeah.
Well, we have textbook anti-eco strats, numbers down long, but they will change the page looking into the toilet position. Nothing has been wrecked. And again, lots of Godby is really reading the game. The rotation begins now. Tabs in Tizian, Godby moving towards the A site. Xantares leaving the short B position to join them, it seems, as Smee is on the flank, but Ricky may have heard him.
Indeed, it seems like Ricky had an inkling, but he seems to have abandoned that as there's a call comes to him from Complexity just to get all hands on deck here into this A push. And now Smuya can start to go for the flank as his teammates try to hold around the smokes on the site with the pistols. The spray comes in, looking a really good hit now for Big. And still we've got Smuya in the back. He's going to take down Ricky, pick up his gun. This is a disaster now for Complexity. They do have some time on the clock, but it's a 2 versus 4. And his rifles have so much work to do. That is something. But still, with Smuya in the back, watching for any rotation, this is impossibly difficult for Big, rather for Complexity right now.
It's tough for both teams at the moment. Godby pretty low on health, just waiting, just playing for time as much as possible. The flank finally gets taken up. Suddenly it's just Godby with a pistol, and it'll be down to the last headshot from a pistol of Shazam. Oh my god, that went down to the wire. Absolutely crazy. But I've got to say, while all that stuff is happening, we're so close to Godby, and he's reading the game, he's calling the rotations. Then at some point, everyone's communicating, like, shush, 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 he's listening for the game sound, trying to figure out what's going on. It's really great to have that close exposure to that. But what a wild round, going down to pistol versus pistol, straight in the dome, no less. Overkill from Shazam keeps Complexity in the game.
Yeah, not only that, it's in a pretty huge way because there's no money left for Big. Only $1,900 for each of these players, and that's no fun. That's going to allow Complexity to get to 11 likely, unless something like that happens against me. It does have a deagle, and he is pretty good with it. So as we saw last round, I can see he's waiting there in connector. Not what to bait with though, but that's okay. Sewers control from Big too, so they do have actually, despite no guns or Kevlar or much of anything, they do have some good positioning on the map. Ooh, Shazam misses that shot. Still stays out of trouble though. He does have teammates for support. A pretty good hit. How much more can Smuya get?
Closes the door, good manners, trying to jump on the boost spot. Waiting for his doom. There it is. Well, things are getting close now. Now you've got to start to feel the pressure if you're Big. Seemed like it was in the bag. But again, until the contract is signed, nothing is real, nothing is true.
Yeah, it's becoming reminiscent of the FaZe and Cloud9 matchup we had just previous today. Just had 2 overtimes if you missed it. First map and second map featured overtimes and big comebacks from FaZe both times. Although, of course, they were not able to close. Let's see if Big can make these deagles a problem again for Complexity as they go through connector. Often a dangerous place to find yourself when you're against pistols, but looks like Def is going to be pretty fine with that.
Yeah, he had a support flashbang from his teammate, which just about hit the mark there. Quick look from Godby. This is a team on pistols, no less. Just trying to do what they can while they await the next buy. We're looking at 14-11, almost certainly. And I'm excited to see what happens after this round, but you never know what might happen here. They had to hit that shot. 2 opportunities, both missed. You never know, you pick up that rifle, you have the position, no one else is in short B. So that's an opportunity that's come and gone for Big. And now Complexity start the pilgrimage through the monster tunnel towards the B-bomb site. And there it is. 3 rounds between these two sides. First map in this best of 3 series. Overpass, Cash, and Train to come.
Oh god, just Cash and Train. Oh, nicely done. Always love to see that. Love that transition. It's very fancy. What a beautiful studio. And there we go. Freeze time over, and you can hear this, the running of the Complexity players. Oh dear. Quick little team flash. The 5-man boost effectively requires 5. It's pretty disgusting, I must say. But the timing's a bit too slow, and now the Train's in the way. So it's not going to do much good for them. Big have actually taken Suez as well. So that's actually a huge win for them. Actually, no, I think I misread it, actually. Oh, no, they have taken it. Yes, they have. So, yeah, that is indeed a big win. And Complexity slow to map control because of the boost attempt, something that you mentioned before. And it's like they're all going long into Smuya. Oh, dear.
If they run wide, it's not the easiest shot to hit. It's missed more than you would expect. Smuya will take the shot blind, fall back. Probably hit the rock with that flick. 4 players remain. So he has no information. He hasn't seen anything. All he knows is that there was a flashbang. I'm pretty sure. No one peeking long. The change in approach is Gobby and Smuya playing a 2-man setup in the toilet. So Gobby can watch the cross and Smuya can up on the inside, which isn't what you normally see. Often you find the sniper on the outside and the rifle player on the inside. Some tagging from Xantares. Nothing massive, nothing huge. Gobby will see the grenade being deployed. He knows someone's around the corner. That may make him a little bit faster on the trigger finger. Nothing to match. Peek straight into the AWP. Xantares, a trade frag will try to, but not quite do it. But it is a 4 versus 2 for Big. The bomb's on the floor. The grenade's being deployed. And this is a rough spot for Complexity.
Yeah, the smoke does go down on the bomb, which may allow them to collect it, but 8 seconds left to plant. I don't know if there's any time here to make this actually a reality. Bomb picked up no time at this point, and they'll be finished off by Smuya and Tabson. Really well played by Big. It was, I like the idea from Complexity, but you feel like maybe they were a little bit slow to pull the trigger on the push. And you can see Big is all over this Smuya. Great stuff there. And as you say, not as common that you would actually have the AWP in that position. You'd normally have it be the further back, but that was the saving grace, actually.
That's the element of surprise that you need. That's the power of an experienced in-game leader like Gobby. Now we've got 2 Kriegs for Complexity as they fight against Game Point. Shazam on AWP as well. Nothing looking towards B. Tabson and Xantares continue their journey towards that short B position. And nothing may look to creep through the smoke once again. Indeed he is. And he is going to get taken out by Xantares. No trade needed. Smuya, meanwhile, has got 2 HP falling back as Stanislaw and Def are above connector. Ricke's in connector, I believe. So Smuya's in trouble. Tabson may just come to the rescue.
For some reason, Rick, even though the doors shot out, he like kept his crosshair firm on those stairs. Didn't see the head poking through. And that's a sad shame there for Complexity because they're up against it right now and they have a big disadvantage creeping in towards the A side, but the bomb is really far away. The bomb is not with the push, and he could get split up because of the where Tabson is. He's big connector. Nice entry from Def, though. That could make things work. Another one from Stan, and they have the bomb site, but the bomb has to make its way across.
All the way too long. Doesn't know. I think Tabson heard the footsteps as well. He's gone for the flank from the T side of connector, so that's a long flank, and I don't think he's going to get there in time. Shazam past the angle on long now, making his way towards the site. Def has toilet. Stanislaw keeping an eye on the bank position, and the bomb will get planted. Tabson coming from the back, takes down Stanislaw. Now we've got a 3 versus 2 retake for Big.
And that's a really big flank because that can just come from anywhere now. And ooh, the flash was good, but still Shazam gets the kill. Can he get anything else though? When he needs another one, this nade will finish him off. Good work there coming in from Tizian with that lob. Now down to Def. The bomb is facing him. It's actually still a good position, but they have a CT to hold. Looks like Tabson will be the one keeping his rifle at the ready as Def picks the time to peek. Oh, they line up! It's the worst possible thing that could have happened for Big, and Complexity stay alive thanks to Def.
Man like Def from the UK. He's got his Air Max 95 on. He's kicking the doors open for Complexity, keeping them in this game of Overpass. Timing could not have worked better for him, and you can see he keeps a cool head 3 more rounds for Complexity. The money's broken once more for BIG. Ooh,
oh,
that's awkward.
Yeah, that's tough. That's very, very tough. Down to pistols again.
Yeah, they had no idea where he was. Fair chance he's around toilets, but is he coming from the divider? Is he coming from the front? You just don't know. And here we are. What a massive round for Complexity. But there are more massive rounds to come. This should be a small one. Clean pistols, just a deagle and a P250. Now it's just a deagle left. No frags, despite those tagging scenario around the fountain. Well, there's one, but there's only 2 rounds that Complexity need to take this to overtime.
Indeed, they're almost there. Almost there. 6 of the last 7 rounds, as you can see. It has been troublesome here for BIG. But the double orbs come out to play, and that is scary. Tabson and Smuya, of course, incredible on the AWP. Got B with a lovely appearance of an auto shotgun, always fun as well. Not the greatest situation on the utility, but at least they have 5 smokes. That's kind of the most basic thing that you need. No diffuse kits, also problematic. But with 2 orbs, you kind of hope that it doesn't get to that point anyway. But we'll see. Complexity open things up here with a variation of a default, not sending anyone into connector just yet, but making sure that they can apply some pressure towards B. And the walk from nothing and Ricket all the way up, but there's one of the orbs that's spotted. The flash is good though.
I thought God B would stay in connector with the auto shotty, but it can serve a purpose around the entrance from long into the A site and also around divider where he's gone to now. So he is definitely studied on all the quarters and another bait setup as well. How deep is his strat book? Honestly, like little scenarios like this can make the difference between winning a map or going to overtime. And Def is the one who is lurking with the bomb, but I don't think he's going to go too far on his own. Shazam's on his way. In the meantime, Stanislaw is just lurking outside B, moving his pawns around the chessboard. Ricky now making steps which God B will hear. Nothing creeping up long. So Complexity trying to find out where their best opportunity lies. And it might be with nothing. Let me find the first one. There's a second, but Smear trades.
Very fast trade as well. Xantares down in the corner of the sewers. 3 quick kills coming in from BIG in very fast succession as now it's down to Ricket and Shazam for Complexity to make this happen. And they have a huge pressure on time. Only 20 seconds to just actually get a plant down. And they have to go B. They're committed into B. There's no way to get through to A at this point, and they have to be quick about it. They've got 2 smoke grenades. That will assist them greatly, but they need to make this clean.
It's not going to be clean though, with God B in a short position with the auto shotgun, looking to squeeze the ketchup from the bottle. Shazam, he only left 1 versus 3, and there it is, Smuya to finish things off. It will be BIG to take over past the first map in this best of 3 series over Complexity.
Yeah, really great performance from both BIG and Complexity. You know, I have to say I'm impressed by both teams. I feel like Xantares, we didn't see anything like particularly special from him, I would say. But, you know, he did his job. He got the frags he was supposed to. We didn't see him go nuclear, but that's good. I feel like we saw a unit, which is really important because you raised the concern of communication, which I know is something everyone's thinking about.
Absolutely. That is the first map in the bag.